Careful.
And bringing the idea of character relationships bang up to date is a couple of star-crossed lovers in Toy Story 3.
Ken? Oh, where is that boy? Ken? New toys!
Far out! Down in a jiff, Lotso.
As soon as they said Ken...
So, who's ready for Ken's Dream Tour?
I just knew what they meant. I think the phone literally fell out of my hands, and I just kind of bent over and laughed. I don't know why. My first reaction was, this is really funny.
I'm not a girl's toy! I'm not! Why do you guys keep saying that?
And I kind of immediately got it.
Step right this way.
Well, you know, actors like to play, generally speaking. It's just really fun.
Hi. I'm Ken.
Barbie, have we ever met?
I would have remembered. Love your leg warmer.
You only know Ken in relationship to Barbie, because she's huge. Ken's not so much.
But when I look at you, I feel like we were made for each other.
He's a tad groovier than I had seen him.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Well-groomed man.
Originally.
The latest Toy Story adventure let us enjoy Ken and friends in stunning 3D. But, as always, when it comes to the initial plot outline and direction, it's back to the storyboard with good old 2D sketches.
We kind of make our movies the same way that the industry's been making them since Walt Disney made Snow White.
A script is done, but then the movie doesn't truly come to life until you visualize it.
We create very elaborate storyboards.
It's the visual medium, and when a storyboard artist takes it, they then essentially become the actor, the editor, they become the cinematographer for a while, and they take that written word into cinematic form.
It's a long process. We spend about 2.5 years typically working on the screenplay and the storyboards for any given film that we make.
2.5 years? Mind you, storyboarding does give the creative team chance to experiment, which is a good thing, as Woody would never have been the character we know and love today.
We made the mistake of thinking that Woody was a character that should go from being selfish to selfless, and we took it that literal. So we just created a selfish character, and thinking, well, it'll be fine because he's going to turn nice.
It was smart alecky. It was like a brand of insult humor. It was negative.
All right, that's enough.
We learned, right away that if you don't like somebody, or I guess the proper ways, you can't empathize with them.
Hey, you want to be Mr. Mashed Potato Head?
Then you've lost the audience.
You button your lip. Nobody's getting replaced.
So we found out after quite a bit of work that Woody was very off-putting.
So, after years of development, Woody's character was softened, becoming the likable cowboy seen in the final film.
Cake and ice cream, I suppose. It's just a mistake.
Well, that mistake is sitting in your spot, Woody.
Have you been replaced?
Hey, what did I tell you earlier? No one is getting replaced. Woody was a pendulum swing from Woody being comfortable with his position to Woody being threatened.
The big epiphany for me was that everybody can act like a nice person. And that became a real learning for me as a writer for how to treat Woody. He could be the nicest guy, the perfect guy, the best leader, as long as he was on top.
Now, how many of you remember your old art class at college? Yep, me neither. But the animators at Pixar sure do.
I went to California Institute of the Arts. It was started by Walt Disney towards the end of his life. And they have this animation program there. The original room where the whole program was held was in this room, A113.
There's a few times in my life I feel like I'm in the right place at the right time. And definitely when we were at Cal Arts, that was it.
Most of the Pixar films have some little reference to A113 in there.
It just became a good luck charm that we just don't want to not do.
Once you know about A113, it just jumps out at you. It's so obvious now. Okay, maybe obvious was the wrong word. It didn't take us long at all to find this one. Or that one. It's getting a little bit cryptic in The Incredibles, but it's there. So, Just Monsters, Inc. then. Where's that one, Pete?
It might be one of the offices. As they run down the hall,
We gotta get out of here now!
There's all these different departments, and I think it's one of those offices, but I'm not sure exactly which one.
You're not sure? We've got no chance then. Come on, give us a clue.
I can't remember. It's been so long. Do you know?
Oi, Pete, no conferring. Staying with the college theme, it's time for a history lesson. So, notebooks at the ready as we're about to chart the origins of Pixar. It was the early 80s, and by today's standards, the modern technology looked anything but modern. And a computer-animated feature film was just a twinkle in Pixar Supremo John Lasseter's eye. Whilst working at Disney, Lasseter watched Tron, a breathtaking feature film which mixed live action with CGI, and this proved to be the catalyst that inspired Lasseter's imagination.
The computer animation excited me so much. I'm not excited about what I was seeing, but the potential I saw in all this. I was just amazed by it.
He had the right kind of eyes to suddenly see Tron at that time. I was just a whippersnapper. I was just a, geeky kid still going to the movies, not knowing what I was going to do with my life. And I remember being just as wowed by Tron.
Watch it.
John had an epiphany that was too early. He was just ahead of his time about where it should go.
Keen to share his vision of a fully computer-animated feature film, Lasseter pitched an idea to his employers. It was a meeting he would never forget.
We pitched the whole thing, and he stood up and he asked, well, how much is this going to cost? I said, well, it's with computer animation. It's going to be, no more than the regular budget of a film. And he went, the only reason to do computer animation, if we can do it faster or cheaper. And it was like, what? And so about 5 minutes later, I get this call, and Ed Hansen calls me down to his office. And I come down, and he said, well, John, your project is now complete, so your employment with the Disney Studios is now terminated.
Not one to sit twiddling his thumbs, Lasseter hooked up with Ed Catmull and began working for this guy.
In the beginning, they were primarily put together as a computer division at Lucasfilm to design technology, to make it easier for people to be creative. John is just a born animator. He's extremely talented, loves what he does, and was absolutely fascinated with moving it to the next level and doing computer animation.
Unfortunately, George Lucas didn't have the capital to take it to that next level, so decided to sell his graphics division.
I said, look, I know you guys want to make a movie, so I'm not going to sell you to General Electric, which is who really wanted them.
But with computer animation in its infancy, who was willing to take the risk?
They found Steve.
Steve who? Oh, Steve Jobs, the guy who gave us the iPod, right. And with the purchase from Lucasfilm, Pixar was born.
I rode up to Lucasfilm, and that was the first time I met Ed, and he shared with me his dream to make the world's first computer animated film. And I, in the end, ended up buying into that dream, both spiritually and financially.
These were hard years, those first years. And there were times when all of us about threw in the towel. So as we went through the hard times, we finally got the opportunity in 1991 with Disney to do Toy Story.
Whoa there, Ed, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before Toy Story, there was a magic moment involving a little lamp.
I think for me, the film that really did it, that made me go, wow, there is something here, was Luxo Jr. It was just a held camera and two characters. It was just this great little story. And I said, who did that? Man, wherever that guy works, that's where I want to be.
I had a big drawing table, and I had this angle poised lamp, a Luxo lamp, and I just literally took the lamp and just started measuring it and drawing it on graph paper and then modeling it into the computer. And I started moving it around because I love bringing inanimate objects to life. One of my colleagues brought his little baby into the graphics room. Oh, he was so cute, and I just love little guys. And I sat him down, I was playing with him on my knee. I started staring at this lamp. I thought to myself, what would a baby lamp look like?
When the Pixar credit comes up right before the movie, there's a little lamp that hops out, and in a sense, that's me. We were playing with a ball. Of course, I don't really remember this, but it was a little tennis ball, and John Lasseter was with us and started playing with me and kind of looking at my proportions, how as a baby, your head is much bigger compared to your body than as an adult.
The things that are the same in babies to us are the eyes. So the rest of the head is smaller, but the eyes, you perceive them as larger. So in the lamp, the eye is the light bulb. You have the same size light bulb in both the adult and the kid. And so just little things like that really bring these things to life in a way that you would believe that, yeah, when I have my back turned, when I'm not looking, this is what's going on.
And so thanks to Spencer Porter, Luxo Jr. was created. And thanks to Luxo Jr., we have Pixar, I guess.
You know, it's my 15 minutes of fame.
The interesting thing about the lamp was where when people came up, they didn't ask about the technology or the computers or anything like that. The first question was the big lamp the mother or the father? And it was all about the story. And I knew that was, at that point, that's when we were actually on the right trail.
Right, have you been paying attention? Good. Close your exercise books because it's exam time with the Pixar quiz. In Monsters, Inc., what nickname does Mike give his girlfriend Celia?
Mike's girlfriend's name is Schmoopsy Poo.
In Toy Story 2, what's the name of the group that consists of Prospector, Woody, Jessie, and Bullseye?
I think it's something sort of Woody's something Roundup. I don't really know.
Close. It's the Roundup Gang.
Roundup Gang. Well, interesting. That implies some sort of nefarious behavior, though, doesn't it?
In Toy Story 3, what's the name of the daycare center where Ken lives?
Sunnyside.
What's the full name of Buzz Lightyear's archenemy?
God, is it the evil Emperor Zurg?
In WALL-E, the captain makes a morning announcement to the ship's passengers. How many days have...
Oh, I will never... He's asking me how many days.
In Monsters, Inc., what's the code number to call for the child contamination unit?
What is the code number?
I have no idea.
I used to know this.
In The Incredibles, what was Syndrome's first alter ego?
That's a good question.
I have no idea. What is it?
It's code 2319.
2319. Boy, I'll tell you something. Get a life.
When he was younger, yes. He was Incrediboy.
This is the mighty BBC is coming up with what's the phone number that they call for the kids? And if I got it, what would I get? A present? Nothing. It even makes the question more ridiculous. 2319. I won't get that wrong again.
All right, you lot, you might not be trivia experts, but there is something you get an A star in.
To infinity and beyond.
You and me, you and us together.
My master made me this collar. He is good and smart, and he made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
Yes, there's more to a Pixar movie than just animation. To bring the characters to life, you need other talents.
When we're creating our characters, at the beginning, we really don't know who will play them or who they are. We get to do the temporary voices.
Pete generally does Buzz. Andrew Stanton usually does Woody.
Hi, pal, what you doing? I'm Tempest from Mars. Yeah, what's his buzz? Say, you weren't thinking of flying, were you?
Every now and then, John Lasseter will come and say, that's working. Keep that guy in there.
A lot of people here at Pixar are really good actors.
So I got to do Roz in Monsters, Inc.
Wazowski.
Mr. Ray and Nemo.
I wonder where my class has gone.
And I got to do Doug the dog.
Squirrel.
When the actual actors come in, when Tom Hanks comes in, and when Tim Allen comes in, it's shocking how much better it gets.
When we first started out, he was kind of a radio voice. Hi, everybody, Buzz Lightyear to the rescue.
What are you talking about?
John's first thought was more of a disc jockey.
Buzz Lightyear mission log, stardate 4072. My ship is run off course en route to Sector 12.
Over the last 25 years, Pixar has amassed an amazing collection of voices.
He can't fly.
Put that thing back where it came from, also help me.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
My name's Langford Beauty. Ants don't serve grasshoppers.
So you can be Mr. Incredible again?
No.
Then what?
To infinity and beyond.
We always do the recording of the voices before we do the animation, and that's really important because these actors have a tremendous influence on how the characters are animated.
Welcome to day 255,642 aboard the Axiom.
They didn't want me to do anything with the voice or put a spin on it.
They wanted me to keep the same voice. Hello.